Howdy, welcome back to another fun-filled episode of The Unknown Secrets of Marketing. I'm your host, Matt Bertram, and I have a special guest today. And for all you longtime listeners, you will know who I'm talking about. Chris, welcome back to the podcast.
Matt, it's so good to be here. That intro brought back so many memories. It wasn't that long ago that I've dipped out, but yeah, I almost felt like I needed to start it because that when the music stops, it was like hi and welcome. But anyway, it's great to be here. I've been so busy doing so many things, and I'm glad we're connecting.
Yeah. And so for any of you new listeners, Chris was the founder of the podcast and he was a longtime host with myself. And he recently stepped away, I think kind of mid into last year. And he's been taking off with leaps and bounds with his other business, selling supplement sales. So we're going to get into some e-commerce marketing. He's doing a lot of affiliate marketing, which we've started to step into, but kind of experimental marketing where you even look at podcast marketing fits into that category. He's really gone deep into that. So hopefully today he can share some of his insights. But before we do that, Chris, for all the longtime listeners out there, why don't you go into a little bit? I know you've recently written a book and you're working on a health forum. So I'll just turn it over to you to kind of share with people, and we'll make sure to put the links in the show notes for anybody that's interested.
Well, I'll go just real quick into the kind of science behind it. And
Yeah.
this is all before I was actually started really eWeb Results, which is morphed into EWR Digital under your tutelage. And back when I was still in college, I started manufacturing this molecule. If you're listening, just imagine a soccer ball where the lines on the soccer ball represent the bonds between the carbon atoms. So you have a spherical molecule of 60 carbon atoms. The scientists who discovered it actually won a Nobel Prize for that discovery.
Amazing.
We'll keep it really short and say they thought it would be toxic. They put it in a toxicity study. Instead of being toxic, the test subjects that they gave it to, in this case, it was Wistar rats, lived 90% longer than the control group. So that was at the same time. I'm a carbon nanomaterial manufacturer. I'm working with EWR as a digital marketer. And then this really became the focus as this health supplement came to market. And it needed a lot more of my help in order to grow and frankly deliver a lot of health value to a lot of people.
So Chris is now, you can see, not a SEO or a owner of EWR Digital. He still is, but he's changed his title. Now he's a chief scientist for all of those that are listening. He has changed his persona online. This was a lot of discussion about his personal brand as he developed it, where his focus should be. He's even changed his LinkedIn profile. And so, through a lot of conversations, he's started his own podcast. In addition to getting on a number of podcasts, he's written a book. I'm glad to have him back. And tell us a little bit about your book. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the book's titled "Live Longer and Better." You heard, I don't know, that was maybe the 45-second blurb about manufacturing this molecule since 1991, the discovery of the molecule, the fact that it won the Nobel Prize, or
Yeah.
the scientists who discovered it won the Nobel Prize. All of that stuff is crammed into this book. What it's like to start a company when you're still in college, why I was motivated to start a company while I was still in college, what drove me to really continue to push the science of carbon nanomaterials forward, and then ultimately what kind of chose me to shift more about that research where the test subjects live 90% longer.
Mm-hmm.
um, there's a lot of nuances to that particular study that are incredibly powerful. All of that is going into this live longer and better, and you can imagine, and you specifically because you've been there the whole time providing guidance. By the way, our best marketing strategy was from you, right? Current best marketing strategy, of course, getting all the kind of standard SEO. Hey, people are looking for this because this is an extremely novel molecule. So basically, nobody is looking for it, but anybody who is needs to find us. We got that all under wraps with EWR Digital. Then the next thing is like, how do we get this out to people who haven't heard of it? Don't even, but frankly, most people don't even want to live longer. Like, how do we kind of address that? And it was you who really kind of pushed, hey, you need to get on these podcasts. And we doubled down on podcasts. We've been getting on podcasts, and that's been by far our best marketing strategy.
That's actually your KPI, right?
Yes.
That's like your weekly KPI is how many podcasts can I get on? And then now that's kind of pivoting to starting your own podcast and how many people can you get on that podcast based on maybe their audience. So a lot of you out there, B2B, e-commerce, traditional industries, podcasting is a great vehicle as well as like experimental marketing like channel that maybe you haven't thought about before. Funny enough, Chris, Podfest is going on right now.
Oh,
I
wow.
wasn't able to make it. And one of our other clients who's starting, he's up in New York. He does, he does things with like hard money loans and stuff like that. And he's starting a crowdsourcing business. And I had the same conversation we had, and I said, you really need to get on podcasts. And I encouraged him, and he's at Podfest right now. So he's been a 7-year client. Now he's getting on he's going to Podfest. So he's going to be all ready to go, pumped up. And we're going to start getting him on podcasts and building a new strategy in. I mean, look, when I wrote a book 5 years ago or 6 years ago, whatever it was, on how to build your personal brand, I mean, this was a key component of it, right?
Yeah.
And what do experts do? We might not go into your money, your life, but like, what do experts do, right? Well, they speak, they talk, they write, they do all these things. And so getting on podcasts is a great form of media. There's a ton of micro influencers out there. I mean, you can even maybe speak to, well, before we get into it, tell us a little bit about your conference and maybe even your new podcast. I know you've done a couple episodes there, and then we can get into affiliate marketing and how powerful that's been. I know that there's been a couple podcasts you've got on, you've given them affiliate codes, and they've absolutely crushed it for you, right? And for them. And so
Yeah.
I really want to get into some of that stuff, but I want to get out the intro a little bit of kind of what you're doing first to make sure we segmented this podcast where everybody can follow it. So
I want to first start with something that is counter. So this is good, right? Like, this is where it sits in a weird space, counter to what you and I have said from day one, from all of our experiences, everything, and then it flipped up and ended up being wrong. And so what that is Matt, and I'll just ask you, what is the ROI that we have consistently seen on organic social media placements?
organic social media placements, very low.
Yeah. I mean, like, maybe untraceable.
But
Like,
but again, I think that organic and paid are very different.
yeah,
Okay. And I also think that there's different channels and almost kind of whole sales strategy. So I have over the last 3 years specifically really seen certain businesses crush it. Okay. Crush it on social organically. And that's all they do. Now you're talking about community engagement, like there's a lot of different kind of components to that. I think what you're speaking to specifically is when they started launching like Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live and all these sort of things, they started really crimping down on your business profile posts organically, right? Because they're only going to show it to under 10% of your audience base. So it stopped showing it to people, and the algorithm changed. So it forced you to change the strategy. And there were businesses that we were working with that were full on social media agencies, and they just collapsed like almost within like a 3-month window because the algorithm changed and you were building on somebody else's real estate and they changed the rules.
yeah, yeah. And so the way I kind of paint the picture is, should you do organic social media? And all I mean is like posts. Should you have like intelligent posts? Maybe extremely thoughtful, maybe not as thoughtful. Like, should you have them? And I think you would agree you should do some, right? It's kind of like the old days. The website meant you were a legitimate business. Current days are having a couple of posts on your Instagram profile over the last month means you're in
Well,
business, right?
well, yeah. If your last post is 3 months ago, everybody's like, "Oh, well, are they still in business? What's going on?" Like, even if I don't post on my social media for a while, right? Because and they were, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, they feel like there's this constant connection there. So I think you're right. It's moved from website, kind of check the box, you have one or you don't, like a legitimate business, and then social media. And I think that type of social media is a different type of social media that I think you and I are about to talk about, because um, that that's kind of checking the box. Also, it helps with some SEO signals, but it's not meant to necessarily drive business.
Right.
Now, I think that when you engage with people and you're actually social, and you're talking about community involvement, that's something different. Also, I think putting money behind some of those things and reaching those people and leveraging paid, now we're in a whole new ballpark, right?
Yeah. No, I think we've always had a demonstrable ROI on paid social media, right?
Yeah.
Like on
Yeah.
anything that we're doing paid, whether it's social, whether it's Google, whatever the pay is. But in general, again, hey, if you wanted to hire us to post, we're happy to do that. But really,
That's not
we've
our
never.
expertise. We're not like a social media marketing agency, like fantastic videos that are going to go viral. Like, we have some great people we can connect you with, but that's not our subset. And we don't try
Right.
to say that we're everything to everybody, for sure. Yeah.
And so in my mind, I'm very black and white, right? So organic social media, zero value. Now,
Yeah.
I've been on 120 some odd podcasts. I've had companies that will hire me that I pay to get me on podcasts, and they've said, "Yeah, you've been on a lot of podcasts. Why don't we wait a couple months?" Literally don't want my money because of how many I've been on. And I had this
What?
one company, yeah, I've had this one company that I thought was going to be able to get me on bigger and better podcasts. And they seem to have some good connections, whatever. And they came back to me and they said, "Chris, you're good. Like, you're good on shows. Like, your content is good. People are fascinated about this ESS60 molecule. Um, but you're a nobody." I wasn't even offended by that, right? Because if you go look at my social media, I've got 1,000 followers, I got 2,000 followers, and it was literally because we know, like I know, I track numbers. The value of me being on a highly rated, highly popular podcast are significant. So it was kind of that depressing moment. It was like, for the first time in history, I should have been working on my social media all of this time, because the bigger that social media is, the more likely I am to get onto these larger shows.
So you needed to build a brand, is what you're saying. You
It's
needed to
kind of
create that brand mania.
a brand mania. Build your brand. That sounds like a familiar title to a book that you wrote. So yeah. So since then, and actually with kind of your help, been focusing on doing reels and I ended up okay. So the book came out about
writing, writing, writing on for Forbes. Like, we've been doing things to raise your profile, right?
yeah.
And keep going, keep going.
Yeah. So ended up writing the book. The book came out 3 months ago. Really haven't had time to promote that book because I've been putting together this longevity summit. The summit is called Uncovering the Secrets of Longevity, Live Beyond the Norms. The podcast that will start coming out March 15th is called Live Beyond the Norms. It's our tagline here. It's not here, but it should be behind me, right? Yep. Live Beyond the Norms right there. Um, so I've been focused on that longevity summit, and I like to tell this story. In that longevity summit, I interviewed like three massive heavyweights, and the EWR audience, if they're not into biohacking, they're not into longevity, they may not have heard of these. One of them they probably have though. So Dr. Stephen Gundry, I
Yep.
interviewed him, and I was on his podcast back pre-pandemic. Um, Ben Greenfield, I interviewed him.
Mhm.
He's even typically lesser known outside of the biohacking and longevity circles. And then Dave Asprey. Now, you may not know
Yeah.
Dave Asprey's name, but you probably have heard of Bulletproof Coffee. He is the
18,000 searches per month.
yeah, he is the creator of Bulletproof Coffee. Bulletproof Coffee is just like a high quality coffee with some ghee, purified butter, and some MCT.
Yep.
So these are three heavyweights in that industry. And I like to tell the story like, if you had asked me 5 months ago, "Hey, Chris, you need to interview 55 experts in longevity. They need to include Dave Asprey, Ben Greenfield, Dr. Gundry, and I actually there's a couple more that are pretty heavy hitters that you probably haven't heard of. Sergey Young wrote a book, The Science and Technology of Growing Young. He hangs out with Elon Musk, Tony Robbins, and Peter Diamandis, the creator of the X Prize. Like, this guy is connected, and I interviewed him, and he's an investor in longevity. So it was just very interesting to, hey, where are you putting your money? Put your money where your mouth is. He's putting his money and talking about what longevity values are there.
Bottom line is, we're going to take these and we're going to make clips out of them. And then Chris has rubbed shoulders virtually, I think, for most of the interviews, but is on the same screen with the top players. And now he has a book, and now he has a podcast, and he's been on a ton of podcasts. And Chris has now transformed himself into a definite somebody in the space to help take this brand to the next level. And this is what I have been preaching for so long, is you have to build your brand to grow a business in this kind of web 2.0, web 3.0 economy. Like it's not the only way, but it's absolutely one of the best ways. Like, I mean, think about the Elon Musk ecosystem. Like, Elon Musk drives that sucker, right?
Yeah.
And everybody is his raving fan. And there's been a lot of books Seth Godin, right? There's so many people that have been talking about like this type of economy and how you need to do it. And you've really, this wasn't really the intention of the podcast, Chris, but this is absolutely true today. And you are living proof of that. And you've gone through it and you've seen it. You know, and I think I was the person that connected you with the podcast guy. I think we're talking about the same one, but you've worked with a few.
Yeah.
Like this is key for people out there. And you know, your brand wants to have an identity, and the best way to give it an identity quickly is for you to be the identity and to be the spokesperson for your own brand. And it helps open up these doors. And again, podcast marketing is great. I mean, that's what I'm doing with OGGN. We have, the largest group of oil and gas podcasts in the world. Okay. And so, I've doubled down on this kind of strategy and I don't know. So I'm just telling y'all guys, if you haven't started podcasting, or you haven't been on any podcasts, you should really consider it. It is, again, another tool in the tool belt. I think SEO is extremely important. I think paid ads are extremely important, but I also think that if you want to differentiate yourself with this noise, people need to want to do business with you. They want to do business with the people they know, like, and trust, and they want to be attracted to you. So I think all the stuff you're doing, Chris, is really awesome. I wanted to kind of pivot a little bit, unless there was anything else you wanted to really highlight.
The only thing that I would add is go follow Alex Hormozi, right? If you're not this is a guy that a lot of people are following.
Cody Sanchez too. I think she's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, all right. You send me that link, because I'm not following them yet. One of the things he talks about is having the audience, and the fact that if you have the audience, then it's a lot more valuable. And that's why he's working on building an audience. So
Cody's a female, and I will probably get her on the podcast soon. She's a friend, but anyways, but Alex Hormozi is amazing. And I think a lot of people that are listening to this are in-house, at different, either agencies or companies, but there is a ton of freelancers, as well. And so, getting the mechanics and getting the fundamentals down and understanding how all this fits together. That's what I was really trying to do in the book, is like pull all this together, because once you understand everything's easy to kind of pivot and kind of, move and float around to. But if you don't understand any of this stuff, building that framework of knowledge is a Herculean task, right? And so,
and it's all found in, like, Build Your Brand Mania, like all of it concisely in that book. Absolutely.
And you can watch Alex Hormozi shorts for hours too, and that will certainly help.
Yeah. Here just one ironic thing. I interviewed 55 experts in longevity and health. I followed the Alex Hormozi diet, and here's my reason. And it's pretty simple, his diet.
Chris met him, and he's a fanboy. I mean,
Yeah.
but go
Well,
on.
that's okay. Tho those aren't the reasons, but they are the reasons that I follow
It
him, and
kind of happened right about the same time you met him. It's interesting.
that's true.
So,
So one is he's built successful business, right?
yeah,
He built Gym Launch, sold it for $42 million, I think. So he's working really hard. He's had a six-pack for 20 years, and he eats cookies every day. Those are three things that really like that's the personification I want. I work really hard growing companies. I would like a six pack, and I would also like to eat cookies every day. And really, it boils down to what a lot of experts are saying is related to protein. Get 1 gram of protein per pound of weight that you have on your body, which is a lot. I often feel like full of lean turkey every day, but that's focus on the protein and then fill in the gaps with the rest and a multivitamin.
so yeah, if you want to learn how to increase your longevity and anti-aging, all that, you need to start listening to Chris's new podcast. Every time I talk to him, he teaches me something new. I didn't know that I could eat cookies and live forever. So
And have a
that is
six pack.
and have a six pack. Those are things that I'm interested in. So I need to start listening to your podcast as well. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about your interviews. I'm excited about everything that you're doing. I'm very, very happy for you. It was so great to get you back on the podcast. So I want to transition. We have about 10 more minutes.
Yep.
What have you learned? Let's talk about maybe affiliate marketing or e-commerce. Like, tell me some stuff that you learned, because like we've done it for clients, but you do it 24/7, 7 days a week.
Oh, I do.
And
Yep.
and now you're the subject matter expert on it. And when we get a new client, I'm coming to you going, hey, like, I want to make sure that this is right. What do you think? What do you
Yeah.
like? So you've transformed yourself in a lot of ways. And certainly affiliate marketing. Again, if you're coming to us, you're probably coming to us for SEO or web design or paid media. I'm not claiming that we're the best at affiliate marketing. Certainly understand the mechanics of it, but you're going to conferences in freaking Dubai. You're meeting people that are like the dirty secret out there that you taught me that I didn't know. And maybe we can start here is you've been working on building funnels for a long time, but building a break even funnel is kind of like almost a holy grail, right?
Yeah.
And all these people out there that are selling you like how easy this is, okay? And how to make, all this money and do this and do that. Like what are you seeing on the other end of it, right? Because you've been in digital marketing for 23, 24 years, right? And really working on building a profitable funnel, also with some of the top copywriters in the freaking business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I
so
think
Ty
yeah.
Lopez is copywriter, former copywriter, has been working on a number of your funnels and his team. And so like, this is not just like a fly by night effort. Like, you've been really focused on a multi-million-dollar business and building these funnels. So I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah. I have a summary of what it is to write a successful funnel, and I'll kind of share that towards the end. Um, it is a non-trivial endeavor. And you're right, writing a funnel that just breaks even, right? With the understanding that you're going to have good emails, good contact, good remarketing on the back end that actually steers them towards that first product that's actually profitable. It's a scary, daunting task, right? Because there are people who are spending $100,000 a week on Facebook ads, and they're breaking even, right? And so for a lot of business owners who are maybe, you've got an e-commerce business and it's making, revenue of 10, 20, $30,000 a month, and you're thinking, but these guys are spending 100 grand on advertising and they're not even making any money. Now they are making money on the
They
back
got the
end,
big ticket items, right? And
right?
yeah.
Well, not it doesn't even have to be necessarily the big ticket items. It's, in our case, a funnel is going to be, do you want one? Do you want three? Or do you want
You want a
six?
reoccurring
Right. And do you want
forever. Yeah.
reoccurring? Well, and we tend to pitch the reoccurring in the back end. And then that, if they choose the six, is profitable. If they choose the three, you're probably losing a little bit. You choose the one, you're losing a little bit if you think about running the ads. And then the next step is, okay, great. You bought one. Do you want to buy two? We got this discount. So the upsells. So all of these pieces are nuanced and need to speak the same language. And the best description, because I've been working on this 2 years now, just it's not 40 hours a week, for 2 years. I'm getting on podcasts. I'm writing content. We're coming up with I've got a lot going on, but it feels like every spare moment is working with one team. And I think I've got right now 2 funnels are underway. So I'm constantly in that spare time working on a funnel. And figuring out how to test the funnel and figuring out how to optimize the funnel. And we still aren't there 2 years in, right?
Wow.
Somebody described it last year and they said, writing a successful funnel is like writing a hit song. And I was like, well, that makes sense, right? You can write songs all day long. People can write songs. I'm not a songwriter, but I could sit down tomorrow and write a song. I'm not saying it's not going to be a hit song. My first song isn't going to be a hit song. One of the differences that I think is really important is you can be significantly more analytical about writing a hit song
Mm.
when you're talking about a funnel, right? So do
K-pop.
your ads, you step by step, do your ads, get a good click-through rate, right? Do they get a good conversion rate on your low offer? Do they get halfway down the page? So where do they fall off? If it's a VSL, a video sales letter, like how far into the video do they get before they drop off? Okay, well, we got to make that piece more exciting. So it's not that you have to restart and write a new song and hope it's a hit song. You can actually tweak your way into a hit song. But I think it's a very fair example of how challenging it is.
Awesome. All right. So I will have to jump off here in a minute. I have some priority of service issues for any of you out there that if someone gets on your internet when you're on it and you don't have priority of service set up, it'll start to share that bandwidth. And so I don't want to give off a bad signal, but I do want to cover quickly, Chris, some of your biggest takeaways from the affiliate marketing side, because the stories you share with me on the affiliate marketing side have been super interesting as well as impressive. I know particularly like a testosterone podcast that you got on, but can you just talk about overarchingly how you view the affiliate marketing world? Also, you even told me too, when you started using affiliate marketing agencies, you were like, I don't know, it's 2 out of 2 or 3 out of 3. It's like spam. They're all spamming.
Oh yeah.
They're just targeting my name, right? They're just running ads after my name. And if you weren't a digital marketer, you wouldn't know. And you'd be like, oh, these click-through rates are good. And we've seen that on the B2B side and on the B2C side for clients. Typically there's a campaign running and the former agency will blend the work and it'll look like there's a great click-through rate, but it's not a great click-through rate. It's like people that they would already potentially get before, which we've had debates in past podcasts about, AdWords on branded terms. But, from the affiliate marketing world, it's a lot more detrimental. You're going to get that traffic potentially anyway. They run it against your name and then they get a nice commission based on something you had already gotten. And that was some of your initial frustration as you stepped into affiliate marketing in the beginning. Maybe you can start there and kind of share some of the learnings and journey since then.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of affiliate marketing, and I'll just briefly describe it as some of the best marketing that's most successful marketing that we've done, and an absolute abject waste of time and money. So it spans that gamut.
Yeah.
And we can also talk about influencer marketing,
Mm.
which is also interesting and isn't exactly affiliate marketing. I think I went into it thinking it was affiliate marketing, but it is not. Um, so affiliate marketing, yes, disappointing. Just be mindful. There are people who will set up PPC. This is not a bad strategy, right? Business strategy. They'll set up a PPC campaign on your branded phrases. These are people who are actually already searching for you. And then they'll take some percentage of your sale. Two problems with that. One, this is a one-time fee situation. Really, like, call EWR. They'll set up a remarketing campaign for you that's targeting your own. Well, not just remarketing, but an actual branded phrase for you. They can do that in some, probably over 3 months. You want to optimize it a little bit, but it's actually should be 3 months, not an ongoing service. The reality is, if that's all you want, then boom, that should be more like a one-time fee.
Yeah.
Of course, because of my marketing experience, I knew this. So I'm like, I can't believe they're even doing this. The other thing that was extremely frustrating. So first, the bad experience. We had a funnel, we put it out there, we got it into a couple affiliate networks, and they started promoting, and we had 100% fraud was our first experience. So that was probably
I remember that.
probably 100% fraud. It was probably like 110 orders or something, and it was easy for us to identify. I think we shipped one. No, I think we shipped three. One of them we didn't pull back in time, right? So really no impact on the business, but wow, what a disappointment because it was 100% fraud. So
So when you say fraud, it was basically someone buying it, but it's not a real person, or they're trying to
with bogus
spoof some
credit
kind of
cards.
credit
Yeah.
card. Yeah, bogus credit card.
Yep.
Oh, wow. And they were taking the affiliate fee and they were using a bogus credit card to do it?
And
Yeah.
shipping it to a random place.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So it
Yeah.
gets shipped to a random place and we owe them, whatever, $15 commission. So that's frustrating, but we caught it and then kind of turned that network off. The other is a lot of affiliates, what they actually do is they run coupons, right? And
Yeah.
and a coupon code can make sense if you sell a product that other people sell, right? So if you're selling Nike shoes, you would like to have a coupon code in front of other people because hopefully they'll use your coupon code and buy it from you and not from somebody else, right? Like that makes sense. But the way it works with a product that doesn't have that much visibility is I go on a podcast, I talk about the product, they go to the website, the website says is good enough, right? They check the social media, check that box. The website's good enough. Okay, I trust these guys. I'm going to order from them. Let me go see if there's a coupon. And so then there's this coupon website that provides a coupon code to a shopping cart that is already existing and about to close. And then they put in the coupon code, which reduces the shopping cart, right? So I'm making less money and I also owe a commission to the affiliate guys.
I never understood those businesses. I know that there's a really good business model out there. I never just dug into it too much. From a user standpoint, I know that there's some mechanics on the back end of why it works, but then it got me anytime I was buying anything and I saw the little coupon option, I would go try to find a coupon code,
Yeah,
right? Why not?
why not?
And I was going to buy it anyway, but then there's a coupon option. I was like, so there is a discount for this thing. Like, and I'm not getting it. And then I got frustrated, right? I would get frustrated of, well, why don't I get a discount? Right. And then I go look for a discount and then I try a bunch of discounts and sometimes I found them that worked and sometimes I didn't. And it just created from a user standpoint or a buyer standpoint, not a great experience.
Some frustration, but then when you
Yeah.
do get the coupon, imagine this.
It's,
So
yeah,
now
I like
you've
that.
saved $10. Not only have you saved $10, so the company you're buying from made $10 less. That's
Yeah.
straight profit, by the way, right? Like that's
Yeah.
100% profit is that $10. And then that company also owes a commission to the people who
Mm.
provided the coupon code, right? So this is just a disaster, and I'm able to track it, and I'm aware of these things, and so it was actually quite easy for us to manage it.
You were
And
blocking a plugin too that like automatically will find it. Like there's a lot that you have to learn
yeah,
as you get into
yeah,
this space. Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunity for challenges in this space. That is for sure. I'll share one other thing that I think is pretty interesting. So email marketing, you should be sending emails to
Yeah.
your customers. You should be sending emails to people who visit your website. And there are tools that allow you to do that, right? You can, even if they don't interact with you. And by the way, I have data, and this is really exciting. So from the IP address, doesn't work in the UK. But from an IP address, we can get an email address. That's usually about 40% of the time. So then now I'm able to email. So not only are we doing remarketing to them, right? So they're seeing our ads regularly. We're also doing, which EWR is managing, and then we're also doing sending emails. So they're in an email drip campaign. And I can literally see in the purchase in the history profile of a particular user that they came to our website, they never gave us their email. So the ways you would give an email are subscribe to the newsletter, maybe get a $10 coupon code, and you've never done that and you've never purchased because we obviously have your email when you purchase, and then 3 months later they'll purchase. And so we
Okay.
know it's the remarketing and the email drip that's driving that purchase.
So was that the guy I hooked you up with? Is that what you're talking about?
Probably.
Okay. So to explain this to everybody, one is if we can't do it, I know a lot of people, and I can probably hook you up with someone that can, or bring in a vendor. So, call me about your project. Let's talk about it. I can probably help you out. Do have a lot of different relationships across the industry. I'm not the expert in everything, but I understand what's out there, and I can build a fantastic strategy for you, and we can absolutely crush your SEO. But to describe what Chris is saying in a different way, they go to your website. 40% of the time, we can match the service can match your IP address. It through
An
like
email
basically it
address. Yep.
hashes it, matches it, and then it automatically puts them on an email drip campaign. And so they start getting emails just by visiting your website. You have now this service that Chris is talking about. You're actually part of a bigger network, and you have to give as much as you get. It's kind of like a co-op. But think about that. People come to your website, and then they just start getting emails in their inbox because they came to your website. And we know how powerful emails are. Wow. Right. And
Yep.
not only that, there are ways to even add text services to this. So think about that, right? Like a lot of times, even spam text is like 99.5 or 99.8% open rate. Okay. Even if it's spam. And so that's one of the things that I'm hearing from a lot of clients right now, Chris, is like, hey, um, you know, the data says, I think it was about 85, or maybe it might be higher. I can't remember even the source, but people are going through the customer journey before they pick up the phone, before they give you their information. You don't even know that they're there, right? So I have a client right now. It's got 8,000 something people come in the site per month, but they have a high ticket item that only, let's say 4% or under people are converting. So how do we get that conversion rate up? Well, this could be some of that kind of option. That's some of the kind of conversations that we are having. So yeah, Chris, I think really you've just got a lot of people interested. We're going to have you back on.
Yeah.
We've just opened up Pandora's box in some of these fantastic areas. I would love to go a lot deeper with influencer
Yeah.
advertising and kind of how that happens. Affiliate, you've just kind of got everybody interested in that. And then some of these PVV networks and some of these cookieless targeting networks, there's some really good technology out there. There are different tiers on how much traffic, or different things you have to sign to be part of a co-op. So you got to share your data to be associated with. But there's or enterprise level of spend. There's some of these different things that might qualify or you unqualify you for it. But certainly awesome technology. And if we now take AI not just as a buzzword and throw it into some of these things, it becomes extremely powerful. Okay. I can tell you, when we first started playing around with the large language models, it was like, how would you make as much money as you can?
Yeah.
Right. It said affiliate marketing. That's how, like, the chat GPT bot or whatever was like, that's what I'm going to do. So extremely powerful. Also, there's some ditches out there. I think you're battle tested in this area. You provided a lot of great insights to our team as we continue to grow, working on e-commerce sites, enterprise level sites. We've done a number of funnels, even though we don't advertise it. And I think that influencer marketing, experimental marketing, these are all things that, again, have to be in the tool belt to be effective as you move forward. Because it's since COVID, I'll end on this, Chris. And then if there's how to get in touch with you on your new stuff, and if people want to try out the ESS 60, is, gosh, what was I going to say? I don't even remember what I was going to say. So it was super important. I'm sure.
New stuff.
I'm sure I'll remember it later. But anyways, let me just turn it over to you. How do people get in touch with you? How do people try out ESS 60? And then we'll definitely have to have you on. What's the new title or link URL for the new podcast going to be?
Yeah. So let's first talk about, hey, if you're interested in trying this, right? I've been manufacturing this since 1991. I'm gonna by the time this is live, there'll be a link, which is myvitalc.com/EWR. So go to myvitalc.com/EWR, and there'll also be a $15 coupon code, right? So that's also EWR. to get $15 off of your initial order. When you land there, you can get like one bottle. I'd recommend the olive oil if you're just going to try something. You get a 25% discount on subscription. So make sure you take advantage of that discount. You can cancel at any time. Our team has 850 plus 5-star reviews. They are not trained to talk you out of your subscription. Just take advantage of that discount. If you're interested in the book, you can actually find a link. Again, go to myvitalc.com/EWR. You can find a link. You could also go to livelongerandbetterbook.com. Just so you know, the book's $20. It's also available on Amazon. If you want a signed copy of it, you do need to get it through our website. We charge $10 for the signature, but that full $10 goes to a charity called OR, Operation Underground Railroad. They just came out with a movie you may have seen, The Sound of Freedom. It's about child sex trafficking and managing that and fixing that horrific situation. Operation Underground Railroad gets all of the signature fee. So it's $10 if I'm signing it. I think it's $15 if both me and the co-author are signing it. All of that money goes to Operation Underground Railroad. And then on that same livelongerandbetterbook.com, you can find a link to the summit. It's a free summit. It comes out February 26th. We release 8 to 7 videos per day. If you're busy that day and there's a video that you want to see, it's just $99 to have access to all of them. It's probably 45 hours of excellent content with longevity experts. I spent at least an hour preparing for each of these interviews. And then with these bigger ones like Sergey Young, Dave Asprey, Ben Greenfield, Dr. Gundry, I spent 3+ hours kind of preparing so I could present some information that hadn't been presented yet. And with Dr. Gundry specifically, his book wasn't out yet. I got an early copy of it, and so was able to kind of query him about new concepts in his book. And it's just amazing content. So you should make sure, just go to livelongerandbetterbook.com to find the link to that Health Summit.
Awesome. Well, Chris, it was great to have you back on. It felt like old times. Hopefully, the longtime audience enjoyed hearing from you again. I felt like we just kind of opened up some fantastic topics that, based on your schedule and mine, will coordinate to go deeper in some of these areas. But thank you so much for coming back on. Really always enjoy talking to you and all this exciting stuff. Definitely need to implement it in my own life and live longer, feel better, and take my supplements and work out and eat right and eat cookies. So yeah.
Yes, the goal to eat cookies and have a 6-pack.
Awesome. So until the next time, guys, if you want to grow your business, your personal brand with the largest, most powerful tool on the planet, Chris,
the internet,
reach out to us at EWR Digital for more revenue in your business. Sign up for a free consultation up there. We also have some one-on-one consulting. We have audits. We have workshops. If you like what you're hearing, please share this. Please leave a review. Thank you so much for listening. Until the next time, my name's Matt Bertram. Bye-bye for now.